My name is James Williams Jr., and this is Kung Fu Havoc number 2. So, the first video was about child molestation and rape, and this is part 2 of rape. You know, in my graphic novel Love 13, I do touch on this, as I touched on child molestation and rape, and it's part of the dichotomy of the graphic novel, which is why it's not for children. And there's things in there that, I've drawn on from stories of people that I know and just put my twist to it, and mythological legends and beings and things like that. And I know you're all thinking, what the fuck does this have to do with it? It has absolutely nothing to do with the main topic, but the main topic of that book is sexual assault, which led these women to becoming these heroes in this autobiographical graphic novel. Autobiographical fantasy graphic novel. Autobiographical fantasy is basically what it is. So, I do a lot of reading. And as I was coming up in the 80s and the 90s, I think it's called Rohypnol. We're going to call it what I know it by, GHB. When I was coming up through high school and grade school, there was a lot of college rapes, and most of it was due to the fact of GHB. I do believe it's called Rohypnol. Let's find out. Scientific name for GHB. I have no idea how to pronounce that. Let's go to Wikipedia. GHB, medicine and other uses. That is not what I was looking for. Gamma halogetabala. Don't know if y'all can read that, but there you go. Now, usually when you go to Wikipedia, it has that microphone thing, like I did with bullying. And this clearly does not have it. I'm pretty sure it's called Rohypnol, though. Not that I can read any of this shit. Wow, GHB has soap. I'm totally, not getting the right shit. Which goes back to technology is good when it works. But, basically, it is naturally occurring to transmit the psychoactive drug. It is commonly used in a form of salt. I don't think this thing got the right thing. Let me Google Rohypnol. Rohypnol. Well, that came up with pills and the date rape drug, Rohypnol. And it has the same thing written that I just showed y'all. But see in the corner there, it has date rape drug. And what is Rohypnol? Side effects. The side effects are Ruthie's. Alright. I don't want to take a quiz. I just want to get an answer to what I said. Rohypnol. Rohypnol is a tranquilizer about 10 times more potent than a Valium. The drug is available as a white or olive green pill. What the hell? And is usually sold in manufactured bubble packaging. You can buy this shit? I thought you had to... Well, you learn something new every day. Thank you, Google. Packaging. Users crush the pills in sorted powder and sprinkle them in the marijuana and smoke it to dissolve it in drinks to inject it. Rohypnol effects has been used commonly at sexual assaults because it renders the victim incapable, of resisting and giving into a reputation as the date rape drug. Rohypnol is used often described as, and the effects are paralyzing. The effects start 20 to 30 minutes after taking the drug. It peaks within 2 hours and may persist for 8 or 12 hours. A person can be so incapacitated, made incapable to act, that they collapse. They lie on the floor, their eyes open, unable to observe the events, but completely unable, that's what it says. It says able, able to observe the events, but unable to move. Afterwards, the memory is impaired and cannot recall any of what happened. A person experiences a loss of muscle control, confused drowsiness, and amnesia. Rohypnol is sold in Europe and Latin America as sleeping pills, but is also illegal in the United States. Okay, Rohypnol, Forget Me Pills, Mexican Volume, R2, Roach, Ruthies, Bruthanol, Rope, Roofies. Okay, so there's a list of that shit. Hopefully you guys can read it. Now, why did I go into all that? This video is about rape. Date rape, rape in general. Rape is rape. And why did I do that? Because the video that I made before this with the Bill Cosby thing, I kind of went on a tangent about how society has the triple-edged sword for rape with statutory and rape. Right? Now, in the light of if you are an anime fan and have seen the Japanese movie Rape Man and then the series Rape Man, all jokes aside, that's definitely not for children, and that in the anime, the dude was getting revenge on women for whatever one woman did to him, and he was just raping all women, which is not cool. And in the TV series, for the live action, I don't really know. The damn subtitles were going by so fast I couldn't really read it. But rape is bad. It's really, really bad. And it is the one thing that more than anything on earth I think is the worst criminal that you can be accused of if you are a rapist. Or worse than that, if you are the victim, it is the one crime that you never truly recover from. Right? Because you have to live with that until the day you die. And it also, it affects people for the rest of their life. It does. It does not get better. It gets dealable, but it does not get better. And the thing with that is that a lot of people take rape lightly. And I think that that's probably the worst thing, because most rapists, they get off 5 to 10. And most of rapists probably does 15 to 30, unless attenuating circumstances put them in there for life. There have been a couple of guys who rape chicks and is doing life for that shit. And they deserve to be there, because that's where they are. There have also been cases where people have not raped people but are still doing time for rapes that they did not commit. So like I said, it's a triple-edged sword. And also there have been cases of rape where cruel and unusual punishments have happened to not only the rapist, but the rape victim, or both. And many of the rapists, some have been castrated. I guess it just depends on the country. And for those who don't know what castration is, let's go here. Castration. Castration is any action, surgically, chemically, or otherwise, by which the individual loses the use of his testicles. Surgical castration is bilateral, and chemical castration is used pharmaceutical drugs to deactivate the testes. Alright, I actually thought that was going to get a microphone and it was actually going to say it. You know, like the speaker thing. I can't explain technology. I fucking suck with technology. But anyway, in some cultures and in some countries to this day, castration is still a form of punishment for those who are going around raping people, because supposedly your testicles control your sex drive and what causes you to have an erection. However, there have been cases throughout time where people have been eunuchs, I think is what they're called, where they are born without testicles. So that they're apparently sterile, but they can still have... crap. They can still have erections. Let me see if I said that right. What is a eunuch? Oh yeah, turn my volume down. Technology, man. And that's the little like speaker thing I keep talking about.
Eunuch.
Okay, so it's not going to tell us what a eunuch is, so I'm going to have to read it.
Eunuch.
Man who has been castrated, especially in the past. One employed of a guard, the women living in the area, in the Oriental court.
Eunuch.
Yeah. I don't believe that eunuchs didn't have sex. But, you know, to be a eunuch, you're castrated. I don't recommend anybody going that route, but, you know, in certain countries till this day, that still has been a qualifier of punishment for rape. Now, I'm bringing up rape for the simple fact that there is no crime on earth worse than rape or sexual assault or child molestation to me. Now, I could be wrong. Now, as a veteran, you know, I was trained to kill people. You know, I didn't kill anybody, but I was trained to kill people, and I'm a horrible shot, so that's probably worked out better than me than you think. But you know, murder under military command, I don't really consider that to be murder because that's my job. Murder on the streets, where you're just going around killing people because you can, that's murder. Uh, there is no nice way to put rape. There's no such thing as a nice rape. All right. And though I do touch on that in my graphic novel, but it's because it's a graphic novel and it's a twisted way of looking at the world, but it is what it is. It's if it'll sell books, and I'll write about it. But I didn't write it for that particular purpose. I wrote it because it goes with the story. But the whole thing is that when we view rape, we all have our different acknowledgments of viewing those things. And a lot of people don't understand it. Rape has got to be hands down the worst crime it ever was. Maybe followed by murder, maybe followed by identity theft, and then maybe followed by theft in general. But everybody has their own moral compass when it comes to stuff like that. And I am not God, so I can't pass judgment on anybody's personal opinion on rape and stuff like that. I can only pass judgment on my own self and my own personal opinion because I am not Jesus Christ and I'm not perfect by far. And knowing that, a lot of people tend to pass judgment before they know the facts. This is how innocent people go to jail, and this is how guilty people get out. Because if you have a bad reputation, you're pretty much fucked before you even get to the courtroom. And that's just the way the world works until they prove you innocent. So sometimes being a badass doesn't always work in your favor. Now, I want to close this out, but before I do, I want to let everyone know that there are rape crisis centers. They're not just for women, they are also for men. Yes, men can be raped. Just so that you know, men can be raped by women as well as by other men. There are rape crisis centers for that, so that you don't go do anything stupid. Now, most men that are raped by women rarely confess to that shit. Most men that are raped by men confess even less. And most women rarely go to be seen when they are raped. Men don't go when they are raped or sodomized for the simple fact that it is just a damn shame, and shame keeps them from doing what they should do, which is why a lot of people get away with when a man gets raped, because they want to put it behind them faster than a woman wants to put it behind them, and that way it doesn't register. However, if they get raped and catch a disease, then they have to come forward and like, yeah, this motherfucker, he raped my ass and I got AIDS or whatever the fuck I got from the guy. And that can happen. And that generally is the only way that most men will come out and confess to being raped, outside of if they're in prison and they were raped. Right? Rape is bad, no matter if it's a man on man or it's a man on woman. If it's a woman on woman, yes, women can rape women. There has been a movie about it. It took place in Australia and New Zealand. It was based on a true story. I'm old as hell, so I know these things. And the thing with that is that I forgot how they handled it, but they did lock the ladies up. And then there was another case the same way where a lady lured another lady to be raped by either her boyfriend or a cousin or a husband or something. Somehow or another, the lady didn't like the other lady and she set her up, which she managed to wind up getting raped. It's a lot of stories like that out there, and you just have to, unfortunately, search for them if you want to find them out. And it's not like something that is really an eye-opener thing, but it's not something that you should probably make a habit of trying to find out everybody's rape story, because that shit's not cool, because that's somebody's personal pain. And the thing with that is that, people who have been victims will deal with this every day of their life, and until they can find a way to cope with it and move on, which you never really move on from it. You move forward, but you don't really move on. And that's the part where everyone else doesn't seem to get. Because most of us, if you're not a rape victim, you don't know what they go through in their skull. You don't know what they go through in their heart. You don't know what they go through on a daily basis. You only know that, okay, they've had a crime committed on them. And then you just take it from there, and then you just don't care. I will say this in closing. If you are a victim of rape, of any kind, whether you are a man or a woman, or a child, then you should really go and alert the authorities. You should tell someone. And if your rape just happened, because every 2 minutes or every 10 minutes a young woman is being sexually assaulted. The statistics of a young woman rape compared to a young man's rape is much higher. Let me do that before I go. Statistically speaking, how many women are raped a day? Yeah, this thing didn't even do exactly what I said. It just wrote statistically speaking. Statistically speaking, how many women are raped a day? Sexual assault victim status. Alright. So I'm gonna this thing's giving me rain as victim sexual violence status. Every 98 seconds in America, sexual assault. Younger people at higher risk of sexual violence is 54%. From the ages of 12 to 34, the higher risk for rape and sexual assault is 3. From the ages of 65 and older is 92% less likely than a 12 to 24-year-old to be the victim of rape or sexual assault. I don't really understand why they say rape or sexual assault when rape and sexual assault are one and the same thing, but that's what it is. Women and girls experience sexual violence at a high rate. 1 in every 6 women in America has been the victim or an attempted of the rape. It is 14.8% versus 2.8%. Millions of women in the United States experience rape. Also from 1990 to 98, 17.7 million women have been rape victims or attempted of rape. So if you go to this site, Rain, then you can get all that. And I want to close on saying that, there are people that you need if you are a rape victim to consult. Oh, found the one about boys. Boys and men are also affected by sexual violence. In 1998, 2.78 million men in the U.S. have been the victims of rape. 3% of American men, 1 in 33, have experienced an attempt of rape. 1 out of 10 are victims of rape in the male percent. Transgender, let's keep going. 21% of the GQT, god damn it, I'm not going through all that, but it's 17% at 4 and 18% of non-males. Sexual violence has longest term effects on the victims. 94% of women who are raped experience symptoms of post-traumatic stress, etc., etc., and most of them also wind up committing suicide or other things. Please ignore the extra loud voices in the background that is totally screwing up this very important video because they can't talk with their inside voices. Rape has also been one of the leaders of STDs and things like that. Please go to the RAIN site, because I'm not going to go into this because it's only going to piss me off, because it now has gone to Native American stats, which are one of the highest risk of women being raped from the age of 12 and older. And there's a chart here. So that there being said, that rape is an ongoing problem that just never stops. And then we have a military status. And so this has all your status and things that you need to check on. So go to RAIN. Let me see if I can make sure I get this right. RAINN. Probably a .com. It doesn't have it here, but that's where Google sent me, so that's what I'm sending you. And again, there's a rape crisis center in every city, in every state in America. Now, I can't speak for Canada and beyond, but for America, there is a rape crisis center in every city and state. Now, I can't say every town, but for every city, because it depends on how big your town is and what your crime level is. But for the most part, the majority of cities and states have rape crisis centers. If you need help, please contact them. And don't be ashamed to tell your parents or your family or someone that you can trust at what happened. But before I go any further, or before someone else interrupts this video, in closing, when you were sexually assaulted, go directly to the police station and report it. Then go to the hospital so that they can collect the evidence. Do not go take a shower. Now, extenuating circumstances that if you are being raped in your own home and your rapist watches too much fucking CSI, then they'll probably make you wash. Try to remember everything they smell like, they sound like. Stay calm, stay focused, and hopefully they will catch that bastard and bring him to justice. I'm James Williams Jr. This is Kung Fu Havoc number 2. Be seeing.